And what is up, all moviegoers? TCT and Elizabeth Pinky Squirrel back again. And today, before we get started, you guys see the title of the video, but before we get started, thank you all so much for getting us to 500 subscribers. We made it. We made it there.
We did it.
We did it. And thank you for being a part of helping me rise over the last year. Also, if we could get the watch hours up to 3,000, we're at 750 watch hours. If we could get up to 3,000, I can unlock a bunch of perks for you. That's how YouTube works with the analytics. So they got me to 500. Now I need to get the watch hours up. Guys, if you watch maybe 5 minutes or 10 minutes a day, it builds up throughout the entire year. It's I think it's 3,000 for 365 days. Right now we're at 756, I believe. So if we get that to 3,000, I can unlock a store for you. I can unlock some membership perks for you. I can do all kinds of stuff for you guys. So let's see if we can do that. If not, we'll try again next year. I mean, that's the best we can do. I mean, I'm not complaining or anything like that. I love doing this. Is my passion doing this. I'm not worried about the money or anything like that. I want you guys to have fun and enjoy. And if you want to donate, that will give you the opportunity to donate, so that way we can do more and more things for you guys. It does take money to do things like this. But today we are here to end out Shark Week. We didn't go last week because quite frankly, the theater was sold out.
It was sold out,
before we could get tickets. To start Shark Week, Alamo Drafthouse showed Jaws. To end Shark Week, they're showing Jaws again. Our screening is sold out today. I'm glad we got tickets last week when we did.
The second screening?
We got the second screening and it's already sold out. So, man, I'm telling you, we first of all, we have both seen Jaws.
I've seen it in the theater.
She's seen it in the theater. I have not. This is my first time watching the first Jaws in the theater. Last year, I took her to see the second one. That was her first viewing of the second one.
Yes.
If you guys want us to review the second one the next time we see it, we will do that. I'll leave her thoughts for it for later, just in case we do a review for Jaws 2. But she has seen it. I loved it when I was younger, so we'll get her thoughts on it at another time. But we have both seen Jaws. We both love it. Her favorite composer of all time does the score, John Williams. This is what she wanted me to go see, is to hear his Oscar-winning soundtrack.
In the theater, the way it should sound.
In the theater, the way it should sound. I mean, the opening is iconic. The ending of it is iconic. We're going to talk about it when we come out, but let's go in here and see Jaws. We'll come out and give you just a definitive breakdown of what we think of the movie. We've both seen it, so it's definitely good to go in here nostalgically and a fresh point of view, come out and talk about it. Nostalgia, like if we were to give it a grade right now from when we were kids out of like a 10, what would you, like, how many times you watched it, how many times, like what it meant to you as a kid, what would it have gotten from you out of 10?
I didn't watch it much as a kid.
So it would have gotten like a 6 or a 7?
Something around there.
Me, I watched it all the time. From the first time I found it in my grandmother's VHS cabinet and watched it for the first time, I'd have to give it like a 9.2, 9.5, something like that, nostalgically. But we're definitely going to grade Jaws when we come out. I mean, it's still it's aged. We know it's aged. It's got its flaws, but we're gonna look at it with a fresh set of eyes, guys. And we get that idea from The Confused Breakfast. I absolutely love that podcast.
Yes.
That's a guys, if you don't know who The Confused Breakfast podcast is, shout out to them. They inspire me every day. You know, podcast groups like that inspire me every day to do videos for you guys, in which I can voice my opinion, she can voice her opinion. So let's go in and see Jaws once again. Let's have some blueberry donuts and some breakfast tacos. A special menu. This is a special menu showing. Alamo does things like this, guys. Last week was the party, the movie party. They gave people shark fin hats and all that stuff. So check out theaters that do things like that. It's really fun. But let's go in and see Jaws, guys.
It's a Carcharodon carcharias. It's a great white.
But you don't have the tooth. Look, we depend on the summer people here for our very lives.
You are not going to have a summer unless you deal with this problem.
We're not only going to have to close the beach, we're going to have to hire somebody to kill the shark. I mean, we're going to have to tell the Coast Guard.
Mr. Vaughn,
we're going to have to get
contract the shark
We're going to have to put extra deputies on because
you have to ring the entire harbor.
I don't think one of you are familiar with our problems.
I think that I am familiar with the fact that you are going to ignore this particular problem until it swims up and bites you on the ass.
All right, guys, we are back from seeing Jaws. We've already, like I said, we've already seen Jaws. But what do you think of Jaws when you think about Jaws?
I think of the music, but I'm a music nerd, so I'm
So
biased.
I've got to say, since I've met her, that's probably her favorite soundtrack is the John Williams Jaws soundtrack, because she was nerding out like a little kid in this movie theater.
Yes, I was.
Today, like, we've seen the movie, so you're not going to get our like reaction of, we both love the film. We both give it a solid A always.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so that you can already just get the grade out of the way. We're going to talk about the little tidbits that I know, like the facts that I've found out over the years about this movie. First of all, this movie, Steven Spielberg's first major film. Way over budget, way over timeline. If you watch any documentary about this, they're going to say that it was going to be one of the worst movies ever made. Thank God for Bruce.
Bruce.
Do you know why I thank God for Bruce?
No.
Because he started to malfunction during the filming, which caused the problems that they were having. So because he was malfunctioning, Steven Spielberg had to think outside the box. When did you really first see Bruce? Like the shark?
Like the last...
When did you first really see the shark? It was the scene where he knocks the little red boat over on the 4th of July.
Right.
That was the first time you really get to see the shark.
Right.
Right?
His face, yeah.
And then you get to see the fin and everything. So Bruce was malfunctioning, so he's like, well, let's do these underwater camera shots, right? These underwater camera shots. And you know what? It made it more terrifying because people say that if they would have seen the robot shark, that it might not have felt as scary or terrifying than how big is this thing? What is this under the water?
Right.
Like when you see it come up, the cold open's probably one of the best, most iconic things in the world. Christy Watkins getting pulled under, screaming at the drunk guy, help, help, it hurts, blah!
And he's sound asleep
And
on the
he's
beach.
sound asleep on the beach, and he's like, I think she drowned. You don't remember? Somebody had to have seen her. You were there, dude.
It was you.
It was you. But everybody knows that iconic opening. Do you know how they did that?
No.
So the sounds of her like gurgling. So the gurgling sounds, they poured hot water down her throat, or just water down her throat, having her and they put the effect in there. But Steven Spielberg really had her on pulleys, like as she's swinging, like doing this and swinging, and
It made me think of Freddy Krueger.
it's like Freddy Krueger. So she's on pulleys, and then the men are like, there's scuba divers underneath of her pulling her down. And everybody always loves that she's screaming a prayer as she's like, God, please.
Yep.
Gone. She's gone from existence. She goes under the water. That's the end of life. That's terrifying.
That is terrifying.
Especially when you don't see what pulled her under. You know it's a shark, but you don't see how big or what it was.
And it was dark.
And you don't see what's happening to her.
No.
Which is scary. It's one of the reasons I hate going into the water at the beach. I'll go into the water at the beach, but if I get like a bad sense, I'm out. I'm out. I'm going to tell you right now. That like there's senses you have. It's like something's wrong. And Chief Brody sensed that immediately.
Right.
He's like, look, there's something wrong here. What do you have to say about the townsfolk? Because you've now seen Jaws 2.
Right.
Isn't it the most corrupt little town in the history of movies, probably?
Oh, the worst part, the mayor. Get in the water. Get in the water.
Why don't you get in the water, Mayor Larry Vaughn?
He's like, I'm all in a suit.
His name's Larry, right?
Yeah.
But his last name's Vaughn.
Right.
Larry Vaughn, he's like, why aren't you getting into the water? Well, I just put some sun... People aren't going in. Why don't you go in, Larry? If the mayor gets in the water, maybe everybody will go in. Or are you a chicken?
He's conveniently in a suit.
But one thing that I absolutely love about the second one, we haven't talked about the second one. She's seen the second one. Right. There's a deleted scene. Remember when they vote Chief Brody out?
Right.
There's a deleted scene where they actually go in there and do to vote him out. The only person that does not raise his hand is Larry. And they go, all oppose? And he just... You guys can find that deleted scene on YouTube, by the way. That's a good end to his character.
Right.
Because he knows Chief Brody was right before with the first movie.
Right.
He tried to tell everybody.
He tried.
They didn't listen. Catastrophe. He tried to tell them in Jaws 2. They didn't listen. Catastrophe. Larry now had that sixth sense. Chief Brody is annoyed and aggravated. Something is wrong.
Right.
He's smarter for it. They cut it out of the movie.
Oh.
It was not in the movie. That scene that I showed you with them, it was not in the movie. They just had the one guy looking up, and then it cuts to him being drunk, getting out of the truck, saying that he got fired.
You're right.
They should have kept that in Jaws 2, by the way. That's one criticism I can give Jaws 2. They should have kept Larry being the only one to try to save Chief Brody's job, which many of the fans believe that. But for Larry to say, my kids were on that beach too. You're a piece of garbage for even letting you, knowing what's been going on all week, for letting your kids on the beach. Now, granted, Helen Brody saying, I got the little boy. Meanwhile, he's on the other side of the freaking beach while she's sitting there. When do I get to be an islander? You remember?
Yes.
I hate the mom in this. I hate her in every one of these movies. That's a credit to Lorraine Gary's performance.
Yes.
She annoys me. He's not going out in the water. He is in a boat. I don't think he ever will. She's a New York mom.
Right.
She sees I
love that part.
When she sees the boat getting attacked in the book. Michael, did you hear your father? Come out of the water now! Now! The entire theater busted out in laughter, man, because that's one of the funniest moments. But showing how good of a movie this is in the cinema and how it's meant to be watched in the cinema, we've seen this movie a lot. Did you ever laugh at Richard Dreyfuss more than you laughed at it today?
This was the most I've laughed.
This is the most I've laughed at Richard Dreyfuss. Because I know Richard Dreyfuss is funny in this. I've seen every scene with him. But when you're in the cinema and your eyes are glued to Richard Dreyfuss and you're not like mesmerized by what's in the living room or anything, like you're not looking around. And because when you're at home, it's a different feel. Right. When you're in the cinema and other people you feel other people giggling, you start to laugh too.
It's the theater experience. That's why you need to see it in the theater.
They're like, guys, the officer would like me to tell you that you're overcrowding that boat. They're like, well, can you at least tell me if there's a good hotel or restaurant on the island? Yeah, you walk straight ahead. They're all going to die. And everybody laughed.
Right.
We've seen that scene millions of times on TNT, TBS.
I don't remember laughing at it last time.
But yeah. You don't remember laughing. When the theater laughs, you laugh. And then when he's like, can I have a glass of water, please? Everybody laughed. But it's funny. Everybody laughed at the dinner scene. Hey, you want to let that breathe? Nothing. Everybody knows when he's pouring the wine in it. You want to let that breathe? Nothing. And then Chief Brody, we know he's an alcoholic because and they mention it in the other sequels.
Yes.
That he's an alcoholic, which is basically why he's dead in the fourth one, because he died of alcoholism or whatever. You see him fill that wine glass up about that high.
No, that was a juice glass. That was 8 ounces.
I know. It was huge.
That was an 8-ounce glass. That was your orange juice
and then he
glass.
Yep.
Everybody else had like.
And then even later on the boat, Amity. One man can make a difference. In 25 years, there's not been a murder or shooting in this town.
Right, so I want to know, what did you think of the soundtrack in the theater?
I've always been a fan of the soundtrack. John Williams is definitely my favorite composer as well. But, Hans Zimmer's right there. But,
did it change for you the way you saw the movie?
No.
No?
The movie to me is the soundtrack has always been the movie to me. What changed for me is now that I've seen this in the theater, I respect a little more. Sorry, her phone is going off. I respect a little more that these guys put on a tremendous effort in the wake of they were miserable throughout this entire experience. So you really get to witness Robert Shaw's genius playing Quint, right?
Yes.
We told you about how Roy Scheider does a good job playing Chief Brody, how Richard Dreyfuss, I was about to say it. Sorry, my brain is on free mode right now. Richard Dreyfuss does a funny job playing Hooper, and he's funny all the way up until they get on the boat. And he's even funny on the boat. Remember he does that stuff? He's like, You know what I'm saying?
That was hilarious.
Yeah, and then he's like, you know what I'm saying? It's just behind Quint's back, doing all that stuff. And but he tries to be as comedic as he can. Then things start getting serious, and you kind of forget about that a little bit. But Quint, played by Richard Dreyfuss, definitely deserves any awards that you give him for this role. He was sick, drunk, late, weird, all that on the set of Jaws from what we've seen in the documentaries. Right. So one of the more famous scenes. There's two famous scenes that always stick out to me. Everybody knows the scene where he's...
Yes.
You all know me. You know how I earn a living. I value my neck more than $3,000, Chief. I'll find him for $3, but I'll catch him and kill him for $10. For that, you get the head, the tail, the whole damn thing. Right?
Yep.
I cut out a lot of lines there, but I had to, you know, that's the scene, right? Everybody knows that. They use that in all the promotional ads when they're showing it in the theater.
That's the one they make fun of,
that's
too.
The one,
SNL and type.
That's the one they make fun of. What they don't realize is the best scene in the movie is when he talks about the Indianapolis later on, but there's a scene there that I really want to give him respect for. When he's hooking himself in and he's putting the clips on his rod and it goes... Right?
Right.
Hoopa! Reversa! Taking a hell of a lot of line. You see, I know this movie inside and out. I can tell you the lines, everything. And then every scene there, they said it took them weeks just to get each section of those scenes. So when you're seeing it happen, they probably shot that for like a month. Or something like that. And then the one where he's rinsing it, and then he turns around, he goes, Hoopa! You idiot! Stop on! Ain't you watching it? Then you see the camera cut.
Yes.
They said it took them 2 weeks to shoot that.
Wow.
The day that they shot that, he was so sick with the flu and motion sickness and all.
Oh, no.
He was throwing up and everything before they shot that. And Richard Dreyfuss talks about this all the time at the convention we were at, right? Mm-hmm. I watched the interview that he did there.
You did?
And we saw Dreyfuss while we were waiting in line to see other folks.
We did.
Dreyfuss is a little guy, man. Like but he's really nice. He come out and shook everyone's hand before he went to the booth, and everybody was like, "How you doing, guys? Are we all set to do this today?"
Yep.
Just like he plays Hooper, you know,
yes.
One of those. It's really cool. He's a really nice guy. I didn't get a chance to say hello to him, but hopefully I do in the future if all goes well. But Robert Shaw, to do that, he talks about to do that was that's masterclass acting. But the scene with Robert Shaw that makes everybody love him, Mr. Hooper, that's the USS Indianapolis. Right? Yeah. Dude, everybody was laughing at the showing of the scars and everything.
But then they got to
when they got to the Indianapolis part, everybody was shut up.
It just got quiet. It was
They're just
eerie.
Well, because John Williams is... You
can hear it.
In the background.
Very faint.
Very faint, but what people don't know about that scene is he showed up stone cold drunk. What? Because he was ill. Oh. He was tired of doing the shoot. Mm-hmm. And he showed up drunk, and he did one take, right? And then went blah. He completely wrecked the take. And everybody was like, all right, enough of that. He goes, no, everybody sit down. We're going to get this done, trust me. Next take. Japanese submarine slammed 2 torpedoes into our side, Chief. Was coming back from the Isle of tending the lady, just delivered the bomb. The Hiroshima bomb. 1,100 men went into the water. Vessel went down in 12 minutes. He did that entire thing on the second take.
Wow.
And everybody was like, Jesus. And you can see him there when he's drunk. This is him just...
Obvious.
Nobody entered that first door and lost 100 men. Mm-hmm. I don't know how many sharks, maybe 1,000. Mm-hmm. I know how many men. They average 6 an hour. You can see him sweating, his eyes are bloodshot.
Right.
He's drunk.
Right.
But you can't tell that because he's delivering such an iconic... And this is when everybody learned what the USS Indianapolis was. Right. It was a real ship. Mm-hmm. Nicolas Cage did a movie. I've seen the movie. I don't leave the opinions out to you whether it's good or not. I'm not going to say nothing about the movie. I think the story is really fascinating. Mm-hmm. It really delivered the Hiroshima bomb. Right. The vessel really did get slammed by torpedoes, Japanese submarine, and they did really go into the water and get attacked by sharks.
Oh, no. I've heard
They-
that story.
They said the sharks killed probably 3,000 to 5,000 people
Wow.
throughout that entire week, and it was one of the most horrific things that they could have ever thought. Because he said the bomb mission had been so secret, no distress signal had been sent. Remember?
Yes.
So
No.
here's a cool tidbit.
Mm.
Did you catch this?
What?
At the end of what does he say at the end? He goes, "I'll never put on another life jacket again.
Mm-hmm.
I'll never put on another life jacket again." Hoopa, Chief.
He throws out the life jacket, doesn't put
And
one
then
on.
he just
He doesn't put
right
one
at the
on.
end, he doesn't put one on.
Nope.
That's great. That's great by Steven Spielberg to do that.
That follow through that.
With a
detail.
follow through that small little detail.
Mm-hmm.
Quint will never put on another life jacket, but he'll give it to Hooper and Chief Brody.
Right.
Hooper, Chief. Then you see him just with his army jacket
Right.
on,
Hanging
or
out.
his navy jacket on.
Right. Right.
Right? It says Quint right on it. And of course, we all know what happens to him at the end. This is how you know that's still effective. That little boy that we saw get up and go out like right at that moment, he didn't want to see it. He's like, "I'll be back.
Yeah.
I'll be back. I gotta go to the bathroom."
Yeah. Yeah.
Right as the tank ran over Quint's hand, and he saw him sliding down towards the shark's mouth.
He left.
This little boy gets up and goes, "I'll be right back. I gotta go to the bathroom."
Oh, yeah.
Literally after the shark kills Quint, and it goes under the water with his body. The little boy walked back
He was
into the
about,
room. I'm like,
what, 10
either that,
years old?
either he had to be like 10, 11 years old. Either that kid went to the bathroom faster than anybody I've ever seen possible, or he just did not want to see that.
He listened.
Well, he knew what was going to happen.
Yeah.
He's like, "Nope, I can't." What?
Nope.
It's still effective to this day. It's a great scene. I always loved the little bit at the end when you see him after he cuts the stern cleats off, and then
Yeah.
he'll stand there and just right there and walk away.
The knife.
That's the machete.
The machete. Yep.
He just puts the machete, and then you get that one camera shot of the machete. For those who haven't seen Jaws, you're like, what's going to happen with that machete? Well, when he's in the shark's mouth and the shark swings him over, he grabs the machete and starts like just beating on the shark, is trying to aim for his eyes, right?
Right.
It happens so fast, you can barely see that Quint grabs the machete and starts to stab the shark. But if you go back and watch it and you slow it down, you see the machete in the side of the shark's cheek, and that causes the shark to bite down even harder and kill Quint
Yep.
because he gets mad. That's probably what. And here's another small little detail. The other morning, I bumped into a friend of mine, Herbie Robinson from Cleveland, baseball player, bosoms mate. Thought he was asleep. I reached over to wake him up. He bobbed up and down just like a kind of top. Well, he had been bitten in half below the waist. He got killed the same way his best friend did.
Yes, he did.
He got bit in half.
Bit in half.
Right at the end.
Right at the
Below the
torso.
waist.
Yeah.
Great detail. And now look, I don't know if they just took it from the books or it's just coincidence. I love thinking about that type of stuff.
Just like his friend. Yeah.
Just like his friend. The part that I told you about the author of the book.
I didn't know that bit.
Yeah, you didn't know that. So in the movie theater, I'm like, you see this news reporter? This is the author of the movie. She's like, huh? Amity Beaches, known for its sand, its beautiful beaches. But the last couple of days, a cloud has been over this community. A cloud in the shape of a killer shark. That's the author of Jaws.
That's really funny.
So Steven Spielberg gave him that reporter's role. I know that just from documentaries and from Spielberg himself saying it and the author himself saying it.
Right.
You know, so I've seen so many Jaws documentaries over the years. I could tell you they changed the ending. Did you know about this? That they changed the ending. Have you read Jaws?
No, I have
I
not
read it in high, I read it in
didn't
high
read
school. The only person that survives at the end of Jaws is Chief Brody.
Oh,
But in the movie, Hooper survives.
right.
Why?
Because he hid in the rocks with a scuba gear.
No.
What?
I'm about to blow her mind with almost any Jaws fan knows this. That's listened to the commentaries. Do you remember when Hooper came out, and then you saw the shark ripping apart the cage, like rolling around in the wires and all that, and then you seen him like just right on the cage?
Yeah.
That's a real shark. So they were out filming one day, right? And they're a real shark that looked like the shark in question.
No.
They wanted to get as many real shark shots near a fake cage as possible. This shark got caught and that where you see, I'll have to show it to you later, but he was barrel rolling in the wires and everything.
Look like a shark.
It was real footage. And Steven Spielberg saw that. It was about like a minute or so of footage, and he asked the question. He goes, was the little guy inside the cage when you got that shot? Because Hooper was supposed to die, right? Hooper was going to die.
Right.
And they're like, oh.
So there was no...
So he goes...
There's an empty cage.
He has to make a decision. Does he feel strongly enough about that? Because you see when he was ripping apart, it looked good.
It did.
It looked like a shark was really ripping the dang cage apart.
When he was
right?
in it.
And it was a real shark. It really was. Right? Not when he was in it. At the end, after he had got out, you seen him like barrel rolling in the wires and stuff of the empty cage. That's a real shark doing that. And then you seen when they're trying to bring it up, the shark kind of ripped the wire, and there's nobody in the cage.
Nobody.
It's a real shark.
Oh my.
So it's a real shark that looks like Bruce, right? And they got that amazing footage, and Spielberg could not use it because Hooper was not in the cage. They didn't have the little dummy in the cage. You didn't know that, did you?
I wondered why it looked so good.
He felt so strongly about that shot, about those moments. He told Richard Dreyfuss, "You're going to survive at the end of this movie," so that he could put that in the film.
The real shark.
There was no other way.
That's
just
really
that footage of him destroying the cage.
Right. That's cool.
Like you, every other time you see Dreyfuss in there, you see the puppet of Bruce destroying the cage.
Right.
But when he leaves, you see the shark destroying the empty cage, right? You remember that?
The empty cage.
And he's hiding in the rocks, just watching him do it, right? There was no way that Spielberg could have used that footage without Hooper being out of the cage. Because why would the shark be attacking the cage if Hooper was already eaten? Right?
Oh, right.
The only way he could use that shot is if Hooper had gotten out of the cage.
Right.
So he felt so strongly about that, he changed the ending of Jaws to have Hooper survive. Chief Brody was the only one that was supposed to survive. And if you read the book, Quint does not get eaten. He gets hooked by one of his harpoon ropes and pulled in like Ahab.
Oh, okay.
And then the shark just pulls him down. So he grabs him and pulls him down, and you don't see anything else. Spielberg's like, nope, we got to make a point here.
I think having him bitten
bit in half was, there you go. He's like,
more effective.
That's more effective. Then Hooper got grabbed in the cage and ripped to shreds. Right? And Brody saw it happen, so he's like, because he sees Hooper's tank and everything come up to the, like, just his stuff come up to the surface. And then Quint gets killed. Because Quint's like, in the book, you know? And then, the tank thing, I can't remember if that was the way it happened in the book. I don't know if that's what happened in the book. I think he did, it's been a while since I've read the book. How did he die at the end of the book? Guys, if you know how Jaws died at the end of the book, please put it in the comments. I need to go back and look at that. But I do remember Quint got pulled under by a rope. Okay. Everybody always think, the tank thing, I think, was Spielberg's idea. I don't think it was. I don't think it was in the, because that's all I can remember about the ending of Jaws is the explosion of the tank, in which the MythBusters proved that would never happen. By the way,
I remember that episode.
That episode of the MythBusters, guys,
favorite.
that's movie magic right there. That would never happen. They tried to prove it right, and it
was busted.
It was busted. So, yeah, unfortunately, but the music is always fun with Jaws. I think it's one of the greatest soundtracks ever made. One of the most genius soundtracks ever made, honestly. For you, it means a lot more because you like the musical aspects of things.
There was actually a lot less of the music than I remember. There was more silent bits than I
will tell you in Jaws 2, when you watch that music, he added a lot.
Yeah, I could tell.
Like the dun 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 dun.
It was, yeah.
Yeah, there was
I didn't remember all the silent bits.
It was the dun 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 dun. He added all that in Jaws 2.
Right.
And then
And then he incorporated Spanish ladies, the sea shanty.
Yeah, but he only plays it once in the movie.
Right.
When after Quint had basically destroyed the boat. You just
Very quietly.
You just hear.
Yes.
While he's looking around.
Mm-hmm. Yes. I like that.
The
part.
little boy that was sitting next to us, the one that left the theater, he said, "Why was that guy that stupid?" Like when he's like, "Shut up! If I want to break the engine, I'll break the engine." You know what I'm saying? So, like, remember what he did? Why would he do that? Because he's crazy.
Oh, he broke the call, the radio.
Yeah, but he could have gotten ashore without breaking the engine.
He
So they're like, well, why would he have breaking the engine? Because he didn't like being told what to do.
Exactly.
He was like, don't put that much pressure on it. If Hooper didn't say that, he probably wouldn't have.
Yeah.
He's like, zzz,
Yep.
quick, shut up. See, he doesn't like being told what to do.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So I guarantee you that if Hooper would have kept his mouth shut, Quint would have probably just stayed where he was.
Yep.
And then he started to go a little nuts. You know what I'm saying? So
A little.
no, he's all kinds of nuts. I love his little bit when, please guys, I need a picture for the paper. He's sitting there just riding in on his. He's kind of leaning like this, and he takes his head off. He goes. He laughs because he knows that's not the dang shark. Nope. He knows these chumps. What kind of shark? What kind of shark is it? I think it's a macaw. You could hear the New York and Jersey accents in it. Mm-hmm. No, what kind of shark? It's a tiger shark. A what? That's always one of the most funny lines.
A what?
A what? It's so fun. It's so fun to watch Jaws. Guys, if you've ever played the video game Jaws Unleashed on the PlayStation 2, that was fun. And they did Maneater now, which we're playing.
I've started playing it.
You started playing it. I've been playing it. Mm-hmm. It's pretty much based on Jaws Unleashed. If you guys haven't played that, it's fun. It's a fun, just, you roll around as a shark, you kill things, you kill people.
You eat things. Yeah.
Same thing in Jaws Unleashed. If you guys want to know what that is, look up the gameplay for Jaws Unleashed. You kill whales, you kill people. The fat lady that walked in, I looked at you and I went, "It's a buffet." Remember?
It's a buffet.
Because somebody was playing the game once back when I was a kid, and that fat lady is in the game with the purple outfit and the hat and everything, and you get to come up and you get to eat her as the shark. Oh. And somebody was playing it, and he goes, "Okay, it's a buffet." And I'm like, oh my God, that's literally, that's the funniest thing. And look, we're big people. We're not going to sugarcoat that. We're big people. So yes, we would be buffets. We would be hams. Big hams and turkeys. You know, but that woman was grotesquely big. Yes. You know what I'm saying? Like she's just sitting there laying there. And then how about Bad Hat Harry? Mm-hmm. That's some Bad Hat Harry. Mm-hmm. We know all about you, Chief. You don't go in the water much, do you? It's cold.
He kind of reminded me of the guy from Friday the 13th. The one at the general store. Yeah,
but do you know what happened with Bad Hat Harry?
No.
You ever heard of Bad Hat Harry?
No.
It's a film company now called Bad Hat Harry.
It is.
Yeah. The people like Family Guy and Robot Chicken and all that use Bad Hat Harry for like production and
okay.
You know, so you see this is brought to you by Bad Hat Harry Productions.
Yes.
That's why their logo is a fin. Because it's Bad Hat Harry. Oh. So that old man coming up in that little hat started an entire company, pretty much. It's not his company, but that's some Bad Hat Harry.
Yes.
There's your trivia right there, guys. Mm-hmm. Bad Hat Harry came from Jaws. Let's put it that way. And then how about the iconic shot when the kid's being pulled under? It zooms in on Roy Scheider, but the mirror image that's beside him, that's the Jaws cam. Like Spielberg calls that the Jaws cam. It's like an eyeball cam. You see, basically you zoom in on him, but everything else is like.
That part was amazing.
It's probably the best shot in the movie of anything. You know what I'm saying? But how about this? So everybody that watches Jaws is like, why is Michael getting dragged out of the water when the shark goes by him? Like on the 4th of July,
right?
And he's in shock. But you see the shark just go by him, right? He's just like, and then all of a sudden they're dragging him out of the water. Do you know the story behind this one?
No.
So Spielberg talks about this. There's a deleted scene there that's so violent that he couldn't put it in the movie. He couldn't even put it on the extra features. Oh, no. But on the new Blu-rays and stuff, he's got the image. The guy he just killed is still in the shark's mouth.
Ew.
And he's alive, and he sees the shark heading for Michael. Mm-hmm. The shark starts to come for Michael, and the guy picks Michael up and throws him out of the way and then dies.
Wow.
while he's in the shark's mouth. But the shark is coming at Michael to kill Michael, and that guy picks him up and there's footage of it happening, and he said it was so violent that we could not use it.
Nope.
So that's why Michael is knocked out. But they explain it as a mild shock. He can go home in the morning.
He can go
home in the morning with a mild shock, right?
Yeah,
No, we're not going to check him over. I want my cars and coffee.
You want a coffee, yes.
Oh my God, so stupid. Michael, wait! Michael, I don't like you anymore. Remember the little Sean, right?
I like to look. Do you know the Muffin Man?
The Muffin Man.
That made me laugh.
He's playing in the sand. Do you know the Muffin Man? My favorite bit is the thing he's doing with his dad at the table. Comes back in Jaws 4, apparently.
Does it?
Have you seen Jaws: The Revenge?
No.
So Sean gets killed at the beginning of it.
Oh, no.
It was so. I'll tell you because I know you're probably never going to watch. It's one of the worst movies ever made.
Oh.
I'll tell everybody. It was originally supposed to be Chief Brody, and Roy Scheider read the script and did not want to do it because he seen how bad it was going to be.
Oh.
So they're like, okay, well, the shark comes back to Amity and Sean is the deputy of police, goes out there moving a rope, and shark attacks, takes his arm off, rips a hole in the boat, pulls it down, kills Sean right there. So Lorraine Gary comes back,
Right.
as Helen Brody.
Okay.
And Michael's back, played by Lance Guest, who's going to be in Richmond.
Oh, right.
Because he's Jimmy in Halloween 2.
Okay.
You know the ambulance guy that's protecting Laurie in Halloween 2?
Yeah. Okay.
So he plays Michael Brody in. You guys see how much trivia I know about movies? He plays Michael Brody in Jaws: The Revenge. Let's just put it that way. Michael Caine being in that movie without being wet and everything after being in the water. That's always famous about that. And it's a horrible looking shark. Banana boat scene. We all know the banana boat scene. But kills Sean. And then she's like, also Miss Kittner, who was the mother of the boy that died in this movie.
Yes.
She miraculously goes to her house to take care of her in the fourth one, even though she hates the Brodies because of.
That doesn't make sense.
I just found out that it doesn't. It's horrible. It's such a bad movie. And then we saw the trailer for Jaws 3 at the beginning. Jaws in the third dimension.
Yes.
You know? The only good thing about that movie, there's an amazing scene that I absolutely love in that movie. It has to do with a guy being like, you get the camera shot from inside the shark's mouth while he's being eaten. It's really cool. It's really cool. But and everybody knows what I'm talking about. But look, man, Dennis Quaid in that movie, that's not one of his finer performances. It's not a great film. They marketed it as 3D and they didn't really do much. They didn't really do much 3D in it. And the shark was horrible looking. It wasn't nowhere close. Jaws 2 shark. I tell everybody to this day, say what you want about Jaws 2. You can like it or hate it. It's the best sequel. 3 and 4 are horrible compared to Jaws 2. Jaws 2 was really good. Like the scene where he knocks boy out of the water and she's like, Eddie, swim fast as a shark, Eddie. Like, great scene, right? Then when Michael's knocked out, and somebody look out for Mike. You remember that?
Yes.
Michael. Yes. And they're trying to sail over to him while the shark's coming up at him. And like, grab his jacket, get him out the water. That's such good stuff. Say what you want. It's not better than Jaws.
No.
But it's Jaws 2. It's supposed to not be better than Jaws. No. But it was fun. Fun to watch, you know what I'm saying? The water skier and everything. You seen the water skier. The boat blow up, all that mess. Yeah. Then him electrocute the thing at the end.
That was fun.
She enjoyed Jaws too. Let's just put it that way. If she had to give you a review, you'd give it like a B or C, wouldn't you?
B or C,
yeah. But John Williams went to town in Jaws 2 as well.
He had fun with it. You could tell.
But you could tell somebody else was there with him too.
Yes.
Like it was not just Williams in there. It was other people that were doing it. But this one was just John Williams. So guys, like I said, we give Jaws an A always. Like nostalgically, I gave it like a 9.2. You gave it a 6 now, but today you'd probably give it like a 9 or an 8. Just
probably an 8.
Yeah, because it's definitely aged. You're going to need a bigger boat. It's never going to age. But here's the swimming with bow-legged women. Right?
It's a quintessential summer movie.
It's the summer movie. Do you know the story behind that? Let's get into that one. This is going to end the video, guys. there's a reason why we have something called the summer blockbuster.
Why?
Because before 1975, all the movies in the cinemas released in the fall and the winter while the kids were in school. None of them would dare to be in the summer because nobody would go to the theater, right? When Jaws came to the theater, they're like, you know what? Let's release this in the summertime.
When people are going to the beach?
When people are going to the beach, right? Mm. And when they did that, it became such a hit. Lines were wrapped around the block. Hence, it busted the block. Blockbuster. Summer blockbuster.
Got it.
Which is why now most movies are released like that made them want to release Star Wars and Indiana Jones in May and June. Because kids had money running around their pockets, running around town by themselves. What were they going to do when they got hot? Go into a cold movie theater, watch Star Wars. Theater. You know what I'm saying? You can thank Jaws. It's one of the first PG movies out there. Indiana Jones, Jaws, PG started off right around then. Let's just put it that way. But like I said, guys, thank you for helping us reach 500 subscribers.
Yes.
If we can get that watch count up to 3,000 hours before the end of this year, I'll be able to give you guys a look at a shop. We're thinking about doing shirts. Maybe. Once we can open a shop. We're thinking about creating some shirts. Let us know what you want us to put on some shirts. We'll make a limited amount of shirts and have them ordered, and then we'll ship them out to you guys. Because I like to do that. We like to make things. You know, she's got her Flippers Arcade. Check that video out when we went to Flippers Arcade.
Played Jaws pinball.
The Jaws pinball. You guys see my short, the Jaws pinball machine. Look that up. That's an amazing pinball machine. You know what? Took a lot of criticism when they first dropped off the gameplay and the board and everything. I even criticized. I was like, what? Because there were so many like zones and target. Right. It looks too easy, right? But then when they made it up and they put everything everywhere, and you realize how tough it was going to be, I'm like, okay. They added a lot of modes and levels, so that's what made it fun. They even updated one called the 4th of July mode, specifically for the 4th of July. So get on over and check out Stern Pinball. They released John Wick and all that, but fun. Jaws was fun. I played Jaws a few times there. We have it here in our local arcade, so I'm definitely going to go and play it some more. But guys, like I said, if you haven't already, hit that like and subscribe button. And as always, this is TCT and Elizabeth Pinky Squirrel. We'll see you guys again on the next video. We're looking to go see Twisters next. Twisters, and if not Twisters, definitely Deadpool and Wolverine.
Oh, I can't wait.
So if you're just now watching this and those movies are already out, look for our channel reaction. We might have something up. I know there's people that watch my stuff like years later. They're like, oh, I didn't know you did that movie. Thanks for telling me at the end of this video. Well, guys, search my playlists. Go in my playlist. All my movie reactions, I put on that same playlist. All my pinball videos, I put on the pinball playlist. All my WWE cards, my sports cards, everything I open, I have a separate playlist for them. So if you go into the playlist or in the community sections, I will let you know when we do things. And then you can watch the order in which things come out. But like I said, as always, TCT, Elizabeth Pinky Squirrel signing off. Have a great weekend, everyone. And don't forget, watch out when you go back into the water. Don't get eaten by a shark. A lot of shark attacks this year. Stay safe out there on those beaches.